I was invited to speak for this topic. I would say family violence and mental health. I really didn't know that I being treated unfairly. At that time, I just thought I was just this is the way it normally being raised. I like to just give everybody some little background of me. Yes, I'm a dentist, and I like to give a young people a word of I like to say just a word of encouragement. Be persistent. Impossible is possible. I like to divide it into four sections of my life, and I think these four sections will kind of clearly explain why I'm becoming a dentist. First section is pretty much that's my childhood. I born in Taiwan, and I came from a medical doctor background. My parents and their parents and their parents are all medical doctors, and I'm the first one and the only one. I'm the first one. Now, on my next generation, all of them are dentists now. Um, anyway, I like to mention is I believe I'm born as a dentist. That's my first section. And second section I like to share is how I raised to be a farmer. That's a big change of my life, my teenage life. I being shipped to Michigan, lived there with a American family. And third part is very interesting. I think some of the people are kind of interesting to hear it is how I refused Harvard University three times. And that's kind of funny. If I look back, it's kind of funny story. And the last, what did I contribute in dental implants? Yes, bear with me for 10 minutes. I just quickly saying that at age three, when we're at age three, we really do not know what's going on. Maybe just a few vocabulary, understand what adults conversation. One day I just walked by the living room because my parents has a family member visiting. A friend was asking that Leon, I was a 3 year old at that time, Leon, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was so proudly and loud said, I want to be a dentist. A moment of a silence because being a dentist in a medical doctor family, of being a dentist as a second citizen. So anyway, I didn't know. I was 3 year old. So after the family friend left the house, my dad kind of called me down. No word, not a one word. He picked me up upside down and started spanking me. I didn't know why. I thought I just answered something they like to hear. Then anyway, how I remember, I blank out. So my mom told me, don't ever say to daddy you want to be a dentist. So that was a 3 year old. But anyway, then I just kind of go on to my second part of my life. I've been shipped, at age 11, I've been shipped to Michigan. And like people know that Michigan is in a little town of 150 people. My downtown is across the street of a 7-Eleven and gas station. That's the downtown of my 150. I starting being isolated and not knowing what I want to be anymore. All my classmates just want to be farmer. None of them want to go to college. So that's what I decided. I just want to be a farmer. I've been pretty much mentally brainwashed. The life is just be a farmer is just a happy life. Anyway, what's a turning point was my grade school friend has wrote me a letter that they are going to University of Pennsylvania. What college am I going to? I didn't know what I wanted to be. I just kind of say I want to be a farmer. People laugh. Why do you want to go to the United States and be a farmer? I realized, yes, that's kind of true. Why did I come to the United States to be a farmer? I started to realize that when I was little, I want to be a dentist. And I decided to pursue dentist as taking some kind of examination, and I scored very high. And that's my turning point to apply to Harvard Dental School. But as most people do not know, when I grew up in Michigan, I was isolated in vegetarian religion family. My American guardian, I would say American parents, they they pretty much that telling me any school beside the church school are devil school. So when I told them I'm going to Harvard Dental School, they told me then we have to kick you out of the house. And I really don't want to be a homeless guy. So that's when I decided, well, I wrote a letter to Harvard saying I reject the offer and I'd like to stay at a church school in Michigan, a little town in Michigan. Um, 2 weeks later, Harvard called me, well, wrote me a letter and called and say, "What if we offer you a full scholarship? Will you come?" I was thinking, yeah, maybe a full scholarship. I don't have to worry about being homeless now because I have to all pay for it. So I decided to go to Harvard. When I went to Harvard Dental School for 2 weeks, I felt that I lied to my dad that I went to medical school. Actually, I got accepted to Yale Medical School and Harvard Dental School. I lied to my dad in Taiwan that I going to Yale Medical School. I feel kind of bad, so I decided. And 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later at Harvard, I called dean's office that I like to just drop out of school and move on to be a doctor to Yale Medical School. So dean granted, and that's my second time refused to be in Harvard. I was in train station ready to from Boston taking a train to New Haven, to Yale campus. At that time, I called my sister saying I am going to go to Yale Medical School. I'm going to drop out of Harvard Dental School. My sister got really mad, saying that I thought that's what you really want, being a dentist. You're so close to it. Stay there. You will never regret. With that kind of encouraging words, I packed my luggage and went back to his dormitory again. And I stay at Harvard. Feel like, well, let me finish the dental school, and then I still can go to medical school later if that has to be. So anyway, at the end of my Harvard career, I guess, just before graduation, the dean asked me that can I stay? They want to take me. They want to send me to the specialty program. I refused because I really want to get out of Boston and start my practice. So that's my third rejection. And my dad came to my Harvard graduation. One thing, he was shocked that I been lying to him all this time. I was in Yale Medical School. Actually, after all along the 4 years, I was at Harvard. So my dad didn't decide not to talk to me for 6 years. That's when I wrote this book to my dad to explain to him exactly what my life has been through. And I really want to pursue what I want to be. I want to be a dentist. So anyway, that's my third part of my life. And the fourth part, the last part is what did I contribute in dentistry? I First of all, when I start seeing my first patient, I know most of people fear to be on the dental chair is when doctor give you a shot. So I decided I'd give myself a shot to feel what patient feels, to understand what patient's fear factor is. So I invent a instruments how to give a Novocaine, which is how do I give a dental Novocaine without any pain. So when the needle point goes in, how do I make it not having any kind of sensation? So once a patient are numb, actually everything will be fine. That's my first invention. And after that, I invent many things to the point that tomorrow I'm gonna explain more in detail about the one drill dental implants. Which is when I mention dental implants, I think most of people thinking of a dental implants, it's a long process, painful, and just nobody want to do dental implants because what I heard is just a lot of scary stories. I invent a one drill implant, which is in within less than a minute, we can place one implant. And when we shorten the surgical time, of course, less infection, less swelling. So anyway, tomorrow I will explain more in a detail. Then I went ahead and invent a sinus lift, and where we have a less bone on the posterior on the back teeth, that we have to do a very traumatic surgeries, which is we have to go 3 days hospitalizations and taking a bone from some part of your body and placing in the sinus. Well, I invent a hydraulic sinus lift. That's where using a water pressure, within a 5 minutes, we can placing a bone powder, which is a bone graft material, into the sinus space, and place implants simultaneously, so then a patient can go back to work at the same time. So there's no more hospitalizations. It's pretty much it's just a 5-10 minutes chairside office visit. With that to say that invention that one time I was invited to speak among 3,000 dentists in Germany. And that's when my dad saw me and saw how I contribute in dentistry. He then decided to, well, I should say, we then decided to talk again. So anyway, just let people know that there are a lot of things that we can invent, and there's things that obstacles in our life, and we just had to be persistent. Impossible will be possible. But anyway, thank you for everybody's time and happy Thanksgiving.
That's great. Big round of applause for Dr. Lee.